Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Celia's been working overtime recently, and she'd like to introduce you to Ray Clinton. Ray liked travelling. He had a novel way of introducing himself. With a heart full of happiness and eyes full of dreams, with the assurance of success and joy supreme, may you welcome the new year with a big smile, wishing you a very happy 2022. Hello Celia, how are you doing? Hi, said Celia. I don't recognise your name. Do I know you? Smiles. I'm just new here on the site. I would love to be friends with you. I don't mind knowing more about you. Good morning, she said. I was out all yesterday. Tell me something about yourself. Every morning we're born again, he said. That really doesn't matter what you do in your past. Just start your day with new hope to make your future better. Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, okay, said Celia. I was only telling you that I was out yesterday. Sorry if you didn't want to know. Tell me something about yourself. Smiles. Would you mind telling me about how you spent your day yesterday? He asked. Yes, I would, said Celia. You already said the past doesn't matter. So tell me something about yourself. I don't even know who you are. Your profile shows nothing about you, he said. I'm from Rochester, New York, but I have a house and live in Flagstaff, Arizona. How can you be from two places? Asked Celia. I'm not from two places, he said. So you're from Flagstaff? I'm from Rochester, New York, but I have a house and live in Flagstaff, Arizona. That doesn't make sense, said Celia. You either live in Rochester or Flagstaff. Or do you live in both places? I live in Durham. It's in the northeast of England. What makes you say so? He said. Read what I said next, said Celia. Do you live in Rochester or Flagstaff? Or do you spend time in both? Rochester, he said, is a city in New York, while Flagstaff is a city in Arizona, in USA. Thanks for the geography lesson, said Celia. That isn't an answer to the question, is it? Do you live in Rochester, or do you live in Flagstaff? It isn't a difficult question. I know where I live. I live in Flagstaff, Arizona, he said. Okay, at last, she said. What do you do? And here we go. I was born in Sacramento, California. I attended the San Francisco College before my education took me to the UK, where I graduated in 1986 with a doctorate degree. I'm from Rochester, New York, but have a house and live in Flagstaff, Arizona. Dad was a lawyer, while Mum was a medical assistant. Both are in heaven now. I was the only son of my parents. My uncle lives in Sydney, Australia, and his family, while the others live in Miami, Florida. I have a son, Martinez by name, who just turned 17 and a senior in high school. Oh, FGS, said Celia. You just told me you aren't from Rochester. Why on earth do I need to know your life history? I don't even know you. Where did you study in the UK? Did you get my text correct? He said. I'm from Rochester, but I moved to Flagstaff after the loss of my wife. I have no idea what you're talking about, said Celia. You told me you were born in Sacramento. If you're from anywhere, it's Sacramento, and you live in Flagstaff, so I'd say that's where you're from. He answered, Where did you study in the UK? University of Manchester, he said. What did you get your doctorate in? She asked. I graduated with a PhD degree in engineering, he said. That was in 1986. What kind of engineering? Asked Celia. Mechanical engineering, precisely, he said. And is that what you do now? I'm under a year contract with Mediterranean Shipping Company, he said. Oh joy, a scammer that actually knows where he studied and knows what he studied, and Celia didn't have to ask him half a dozen times. That'll be a first. What do you do for them? She asked. I'm the director of operations here, he said, second to the captain. Captain, said Celia. Are you on a ship? I've been on the ship all my life, he said. The same one? Asked Celia. This is the third shipping company I'm working for, he said. Ah, okay, she said. I've been in this field for 32 years now. Are you on a ship now? She asked. Yes, dear. Where? She asked. And it was all going so well, until that innocent question. I'm in Newcastle, Australia now, he said. I've been in many countries in the world, mainly Europe and Asia. How's the weather condition over there? The weather condition? What a strange thing to say, said Celia. I live not far from Newcastle, but the one in England, not Australia. I heard that the spread of the new virus, Omicron, is high over there in the UK. Wow! Yes, it is, she said, but most people have been vaccinated, so most aren't getting very ill. Where's Newcastle in Australia? I've watched a game in St James's Park years ago over there at Newcastle, England, he said. Are you going to tell me where Newcastle is in Australia? She asked again. Newcastle, Google helped him out, is a harbour city in the Australian state of New South Wales. OK, she said. Is it north or south of Sydney? Oh, you know about Sydney, he said. Yes, she said. My son lives there. Oh, whoops. And you didn't answer my question. Wow! Are you going to tell me if it's north or south of Sydney? Said Celia. New South Wales, he said. Yes, I know where Sydney is, said Celia. I'm asking you where Newcastle is. North of Sydney or south of Sydney? Google thought it had better help out. Newcastle, city and port, eastern New South Wales, Australia. It lies at the mouth of the Hunter River, approximately 105 miles, 170 kilometres, northeast of Sydney. Thank you, said Celia. I wasn't asking for a copy and paste answer. North would have been just fine. Have you been out of the UK before? He asked. Yes, said Celia. I've been to Sydney to visit my son. I was just trying to explain better to you, LOL, he said. Oh, what a far distance journey. It's a long time in a plane, said Celia, but quicker than going by ship. Yes, dear. How long do you have to stay in Newcastle? She asked. I left Glasgow to Newcastle. It was so stressful. I had 4 transits. What does that mean? Asked Celia. You mean you sailed from Glasgow? I travel from Glasgow by Emirates Airways to here for my present contract. I was over there at Glasgow before I was called for the contract. Oh, you flew to Newcastle, said Celia. Why did you have to change planes 4 times? Didn't change 4 planes. It was just stopovers, he said. You've got to hand it to him. He had done some basic research on how to get from Glasgow to Sydney. But then he started to flounder. Why were there so many stopovers? Asked Celia. It was just for the safety of the flight, and I think it's the law of the airline, he said. Safety, said Celia. What was wrong? What do you mean by law of the airline? Do you fly direct from England to Sydney when you visited your son? He asked. I went via Singapore, said Celia. You haven't told me why you had to stop 4 times for the safety of the flight. Mine was Emirates, he said. I don't work with the airline. I don't think Emirates flights are usually unsafe, are they? Said Celia. So why did you have to stop 4 times? I was happy I landed safely, he said. And where did you stop? Asked Celia. And to show that he had done his basic research on how to get from Glasgow to Australia, if not Sydney, he said, it was from Glasgow to London, London to Dubai, Dubai to Brunei, Brunei to Perth. It was about 32 hours. What on earth has that got to do with the safety of the plane? Said Celia. Are you telling me stupid stories to try to sound impressive? That's just a regular flight schedule, or the law of the airline. That's what I was trying to explain to you, he said. You sound so harsh. Rubbish, said Celia. You're trying to sound impressive and trying to make you think you were very brave. LOL, he said. Talking ridiculous nonsense about safety and the law of the airline. You don't know anything about airline law, do you? Well, that's by the way, he said. You talking ridiculous nonsense to try to impress a lady is by the way. I don't work with airlines, he said. Exactly. You have no idea what you're talking about, said Celia. I don't think I should know their laws, he said. No, said Celia, and you shouldn't pretend you do. It was just a suggestion, LOL, he said. OK, dear, agreed. You mean flying a regular scheduled flight wasn't interesting, exciting or impressive enough? Did you have to quarantine when you arrived in Perth? It was impressive, though, he said. No, it wasn't, said Celia. I already have my 2 doses of vaccine when I arrived there, he said. OK, she said. I thought maybe you'd still have to quarantine. I was quarantined for 14 days. When did you visit your son in Sydney? Before the COVID? Yes, it was pre-COVID, 3.5 years ago. That's so nice, he said. I was there in July. Yes, it was lovely. How long did you spend over there? He asked. 3 weeks. Wow, he said. That's so lovely. Could you get a chance to go round the city? Did he took you round the city? Of course I did, said Celia. Wow! How'd you see Sydney? What do you mean? She asked. Was your time there interesting? I loved it, yes, said Celia. So much to see, and we travelled around as well. How long have you been in Newcastle? Asked Celia. I've been here for 4 months now. Will you sail to your next destination, or stay in the ship in Newcastle for the whole of your contract? She asked. I sail with the ship as the director of operation. We sailed to Auckland, just returned here before the Christmas. You just said you'd been in Newcastle for 4 months, said Celia. What I mean was that I've been on the contract for 4 months now. Oh, said Celia. What were you doing in Auckland? I sailed with the ship, Ports of Auckland. Why did the ship go to Auckland? She asked. We were carrying containers. It was a cargo ship. OK, said Celia. Do you know where you'll go next? They have not scheduled it, he said. I think I will be informed before the 17th of this month. You never told me anything about yourself, LOL. I work in the admissions department of the university in Durham, she said. Wow! What an amazing profession! Why is that so amazing? Asked Celia. No wonder you ask so many questions, LOL, he said. I like the profession. Mum was a teacher, but was in high school. Your mum was a teacher? Asked Celia. And remember what he said before. Mum was a medical assistant. How long have you worked there? He asked. 20 years, said Celia. Yes, dear, he said, in reply to her asking if his mum was a teacher. Are you telling me bullshit stories again to impress me? She asked. She's in heaven now, he said. Yes, she said. Are you telling me ridiculous stories to impress me again? Not at all, he said. Only she was a medical assistant an hour or so ago, said Celia. So which is true, and which was the rubbish story to impress me? LOL, he said. You mean they're both rubbish stories to impress me? What did your mother really do? Asked Celia. She teach for 3 years, he said. What did she teach? Asked Celia. And if anyone can decode our man's enlightening reply, please do leave it in the comments below. Due to the high salaries of nurses in the state, she switched profession into medical assistance. Was medicine too. That why it was kind of easy for her. Now you're saying she was a nurse, not a medical assistant, said Celia. Although she did more courses too, he said. Stop talking bullshit, said Celia, and tell me what she really did. Mum was a medical assistant, he said. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've cleared that up. Would you mind telling me about your age? So nothing at all to do with switching professions due to the high salaries of nurses, said a rather sneering Celia. I'm 55. How old are you? I mean, how old are you, really? Not a lie to impress me, and I don't want to ask 3 times. I was born on the 15th day of October, 1960, he said. When is your birthday? July the 10th, she said. So you're 61, or is it 62? Was your wife much younger than you? Yes, 61, he said. We'll be 62 by October. Yes, she was years younger than me. Celia had had enough of him. I need some fresh air, she said. I'm going to go for a walk. I'll catch up with you again later. Are you still in marriage? He asked. OK, that's so nice, dear. Just text when you're back. Wish you a blissful day ahead. And then that evening, life is beautiful having a friend like you. I wish you a wonderful evening, full of laughter and love. Good evening to you, my friend. How are you doing? And if the person that you're talking to online goes all poetic every evening and every morning, there really is about a 99% chance that you're talking to a scammer. It just isn't the way that ordinary people talk. Celia ignored him, and to underline that, he was back the next day with, It's our attitude that makes us who we are. It opens doors to success. May you have the best attitude in life to accomplish your dreams. Have a nice day, my dear friend. How are you doing? Hi, she said. I'm on my lunch break. What are you doing today? Just wake up from sleep, he said. I'm on my cabin, talking to you. Have missed your conversation. Hope you're having a blissful day over there. Hi, said Celia a few hours later. I just got home from work. It was a bit crazy, as it was our first day back after the holidays. Our man, having found a good copy and paste line, didn't like to waste it, so he repeated himself. It is our attitude that makes us who we are. It opens doors to success. May you have the best attitude in life to accomplish your dreams. Have a nice day, dear friend. Hello, dear. How you doing? Attitude, said Celia. What are you talking about? Attitude, he said, is just a settled way of thinking or feeling about something. How are you doing today, dear? And if you ever get the feeling that you're talking to someone who's literally working their way down a list of questions, well, this is it. Are you there? He said the next day, having tried to contact her several times. Hello, friend. I miss your conversation. Good evening, said Celia. I was at work when you were messaging me earlier. She didn't hear from him the next day, and then 2 days later, here we go. Oh, it really get me worried and sad when I don't get to know about you. How are you doing? Hope you're having a nice days going over there. I've been very busy at work here. I haven't been able to hear from you. I know you must be doing great. I just want to let you know I miss talking to you. Would you mind giving me time to catch up here on Facebook? Today will be a wonderful day for you, and your ways will be filled with favour. Have a good day, friend. How are you doing? I'm fine, thanks, said Celia. Do you write poetry? She asked facetiously. Smiles! I don't, he said. How are you doing today? Oh, said Celia, you mean you're using someone else's quotes? Smiles? I have lots of quotes unpublished here in my head. LOL. You already asked me how I'm doing today, and I told you, she said. Wow! So happy to hear that. How's your day going over there? Would anyone like to smack him in the mouth for me? Because I think Celia didn't. Celia was much more polite, I have no idea why. I've been shopping and cleaning and tidying, she said. I'm off to visit a friend soon. How about you? Just wake up, he said, and decided to know about you. Missed your conversation. OK, said Celia. What are your plans for today? Do you have to work? Realising where he was meant to be, our man said, It's still 1:40 a.m. here. Having realised, our man continued, Not feeling sleepy. I have slept for some hours already. OK, said Celia. Where are you now? You're not working today, he asked. I don't work at weekends, said Celia. Still here in Newcastle, he said. Wow! You're so lucky. What do you mean, wow? Said Celia. Most offices don't work at weekends. It's normal. Where will you be going next? I think it should be Toronto, he said. What did you have for lunch? I've never been to Toronto, said Celia. Same here, he said. Fairly obviously, as you'll see in a minute. It will be a nice experience. How will you get there? We'll sail with the ship to there. OK, said Celia. Good luck. Google Maps tells me that Toronto is about 600 miles from the sea. So if I have any viewers in Toronto and you see a flying ship, you'll know where it came from. You never told me what you have for lunch, he said. Food, said Celia, and if you're wondering why I put that bit in, it's so that I can give you fair warning for the next bit. So, fair warning, if you're eating or drinking, ladies and gentlemen, please swallow now. He was back 2 days later with the usual scammer introduction. Hello, dear friend. Good day. How are you doing? How's everything going with you over there? Everything's fine, thanks, said Celia. I'm just finishing my lunch break. Are you still on the container ship? That's nice, he said. What did you had for lunch? Casseroled ants with calcified worms, said Celia. What did you have for lunch? Oh, that's nice, he said. Yummy. There were 2 days of inane scammer babble, which I won't bore you with. And then, on the 13th of January, God blessed us with another day to live and love. The beautiful sunrise teaches us to gaze at nature and appreciate the little things of life. May you always count your blessings. Enjoy the beauty of the universe. Good morning, my time. How are you doing today? I know you must be very busy. I'm hoping to hear from you as soon as you can. Hi, said Celia later that day, because she was really fed up with him by now. I had to drive down to see my mother today. She had a fall a few days ago. I'll probably be with her until Sunday. She's okay, but I wanted to see her, to be certain she wasn't just saying that, so I didn't worry about her. Celia ignored him for the weekend. How are you doing? He asked. Hi, she said. How long will it take you to reach your new destination? I'm just on my lunch break from work. We are sailing to the port of Berlin, Germany, he said, which will take us 36 days. I'm freezing here on the sea, LOL. And before we continue, Here's another geography lesson. This is the location of Berlin. It's about 200 kilometres inland. So, if you live in Berlin and you see that flying ship, do comment down below. What did you have for lunch? He asked. Oh, said Celia, you had a change of plan, did you? Food? A change of plan on what? He asked. Your next destination, said Celia. I told you, I'll be going to Berlin already. Didn't I told you about that? You told me Toronto before, said Celia. You just told me Berlin a few minutes ago. Oh, that's true, said our man, scrolling quickly back through the conversation and realising his mistake. Adding hastily, I was transferred to the ship going to Berlin for a special work. Ah, said Celia, you changed to a different ship. 36 days is a long time to be at sea. Where is your ship now? Yes, dear, he said. All my life has been in the high sea. You were born on a ship? Asked Celia. Now, in Solomon Islands, he said. Why are you freezing? Asked Celia. I thought it was warm there. In reply to you were born on a ship, our man said, Not really. Since the loss of my parents, I have to move on to be successful as a man. I have worked with 2 other shipping companies before this, my present contract. And in reply to why are you freezing, I thought it was warm there. He said, Not really. It's always cold in the sea. If you say so, said Celia. And I've noticed that all scammers think it's cold at sea. This was the temperature in the Solomon Islands at the time. It was 1 a.m. and it's still 25 degrees C. Then, finally, he realised there was something really important missing from his life. Yes, Google Hangouts. I'd love to continue this conversation and get to know about each other, he said. But my work resists my social time from social media. We're allowed to talk to family and friends through email to email. And there is this app my son introduced to me. It's called a Hangout Gmail. Would you mind giving me your email so I can add you over there on Hangout? And so they moved to Hangouts. And it wasn't long before their relationship started going downhill. His conversation continued to scintillate. Good afternoon, dear. How are you doing? Good morning, sweetie. Hi, said Celia. It's mid-afternoon here. Smiles. So sorry. How are you doing, honey? That's okay, said Celia. I'd be confused if I was at sea. You probably change time zones every few days. I'm fine, thanks. On a quick tea break. Wow! That's so nice, dear. Hope you're doing great, honey. I think we'd probably changed to another member of the scammer team. I just told you I'm fine, replied Celia tartly. That's so nice, he said. So happy to hear that. Hope you're having a wonderful day at work. Do you actually want a conversation? Said Celia. Because if you're just going to keep asking me the same stupid questions on repeat, then I have better things to do. And believe me, I've missed a lot of it out. OMG, he said. Meaning, said Celia, you don't want a proper conversation? Celia copied and pasted a bit of the previous conversation. How you doing? How you doing, honey? Hope you're having a great day. Wow, that's so nice. Hope you're having a wonderful day at work. It's just that I care much about you, dear, he tried. He sent her a good morning gif the following morning. Good morning, said Celia. I'm just on my way to work. Thought I'd check my messages as I'm walking. Oh, that's good, he said. I wish you best of luck today at work. Best of luck, said Celia. Why? What do you think is going to happen? Wishing you happy moment at work today, he said. Everything good is what I'm wishing you, dear. Oh, said Celia, I thought you were having a premonition and trying to warn me that something bad might happen. Well, there's only so much inane babble a girl can put up with, and believe me, Celia had reached her limit. He asked how her mother was. I'll probably phone her when I get home from work this evening, said Celia. I think she was going out with her friend Barbara today. Wow! That's good. I know Mum must be very proud of you. Are you her first daughter? I'm her only child, said Celia. Wow! Why is that so amazing? Asked Celia. I'm the only child of my parents, he said. I know how it feels without having anyone to keep you company when you were staying with Mum. My parents died at my early age and was not able to give me another siblings. When I got married to Martina's mum, she was not a good wife to me. She turned to be a smoker, and she uses alcohol as water. I hate remembering the bad moments she gave to me. "OK," said Celia. "Sorry about your wife. Does your son live with you?" "Thank you so much for the compliment," he said. "Yes, he lives with me in Arizona. He always texts me here on Hangouts, telling me how much he missed me. Would you mind telling me about your past relationship?" "Didn't I tell you?" asked Celia. "My husband died 3 years ago. I have to work now. I'll catch you again later." She got home to the usual barrage of banal questions, until finally he got to, "How's the weather condition over there?" "Why do you want to know?" asked Celia. "You sound so harsh towards me," he said. "I told you yesterday," she said. "I want a proper conversation, not the same old boring questions on repeat. If you have nothing interesting to say or tell me, I can't be bothered with talking to you. And why do you want to know what the weather condition is?" She copied and pasted a couple of times when he'd asked the same question previously. "Do you have a list of questions to ask me," she said, "that you keep working through on rotation? For the weather condition in Durham, you can consult the BBC weather site." And she gave him the link. There were a few more days of the same old trite questions. And then on the Saturday he said, "I'm in Panama now. I missed talking to you, honey." "Is it nice and warm where you are?" she asked. "I'm jealous. It's still winter here." "The high seas is always calm and chilly," he said. "You don't have to be jealous, LOL. I'm jealous too, because you're on land and can go anywhere of your wish." "I'm surprised it's cold at sea near Panama," said Celia, "but if you say so." By then she'd had enough of them, so she couldn't even be bothered to look up the weather in Panama. "How long will it take you to reach your destination?" she asked. "I still have a long way to go, honey," he said. "It's not less than 25 days to arrive in Germany." "Yes, I know," she said. "You're about halfway there." He asked Celia how her mother was. "Mum's fine, thanks," she said. "So happy to hear that, honey," he said. "Can't wait to meet her in the nearest future, sweetheart. I've been thinking about you, honey. You're always on my mind, sweetheart." "Does that mean you're thinking of coming to Durham?" asked Celia. "Keep staring at your pictures here," he said. "I can't wait to be there soon after my present contract. Hang on, sweetheart. Catch up with you shortly, please." Our man disappeared for a few days. I thought he'd gone for good. In fact, I made this video. Now I'm having to remake the ending, because a few days later he reappeared. "I can't wait to meet you in person at Durham after my present contract," he said. "Are you busy, sweetie?" "Hello," said Celia. "I just got home from work. I wondered where you'd got to." "You're welcome, sweetie," he said. "I'm halfway now, sweetheart. I'm in Nicaragua now." And he sent a photo of a man drinking at a ship's bar. "Did you say you're going to come to Durham?" said Celia. "How exciting!" "Yes, sweetie," he said. "I will be glad to meet you soon. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, honey. It will be my pleasure to have you as my wife, sweetheart. I can't wait to be with you, so we can know more about each other. I believe that together we can make a bond, honey. What do you think?" "That sounds lovely," said Celia. "Is that a proposal?" "I really mean it, honey," he said. "I wish I'm there right now, to look at you eyeball to eyeball, to let you know how much I love you, honey. I can't get my mind off you, honey. Always thinking about you here, sweetie." He sent another photo of a man sitting reading. "I will always have this piece of my heart that smiles whenever I think about you." "Oh," said Celia, "it wasn't a proposal. I suppose it would be sensible for you to come here first. I know you'll love Durham. It's a lovely city." "Yes, honey," he said. "I can't say it's a proposal now, because I will be glad to propose to you in the midst of your family and friends." "Oh," said Celia, "how lovely. We will organise a small party when I arrive in Durham. You will invite all your family and friends. Then I will propose to you in front of them, honey. I want us to take them on surprise." "When will you come?" asked Celia. "After my contract," he said. "How long will that be?" she asked. "Or you can apply for my vacation, honey." "What do you mean?" asked Celia. "Is there a long time till your contract finishes?" "You can write to my company as my fiancé that you're applying for my vacation, sweetie. And if the person that you're talking to online tells you that they need you to apply for their vacation, then you know they're lying. I'm not aware of any employee anywhere or any company anywhere that would even consider granting a vacation because someone else has asked for it, the employee will always have to ask for it themselves. And no company charges their employees to take leave, unless it's extra leave on top of their allowance, in which case maybe some companies might take it out of their wages. "OK," said Celia, "I'm sure I can do that." "I've 7 months to run here," he said, "and that's too far away, honey." "Oh," said Celia, "then you will need to take leave." "Yes, honey. Through that, the company can allow me to leave, sweetie." "What do I need to do?" she asked. "I will tell you what to do, honey," he said. "That will be when I get to Berlin, because I'm currently in the high sea now, sweetheart. As I've said before, watching too many pirate films." "How long will it take you to get to Berlin?" asked Celia. "If you apply now, you might be able to come as soon as you reach Berlin." "Yes, honey," he said. "I'll be in Germany before 2 weeks' time, sweetheart. I will give you details how to apply for my vacation, sweetheart." "OK," she said. "Do you want me to apply for it before you reach Berlin? How long does the application process take?" "I'll send you the company email address. Then you can contact them, sweetheart," he said. He sent her a yahoo.com email address. "That's the company email address, honey," he said. Watch out for this. If the person that you're talking to online claims to work for a large international company, but sends you a Gmail or a Yahoo or some other generic email address, it's fairly certain that you're talking to a scammer. "Hi there," said Celia. "I'm just walking home from work. I'll email them when I get to my house. What do you want me to say to them?" "Just email them that you're contacting them in the respect of engineer Ray Edwards Clinton, who is the director of operations in their company. Tell them you're my fiancé and that you're applying for vacation so I can come and spend some time together with you so we can get married officially." "Hi," said Celia a bit later. "I just emailed them." "OK, sweetie," he said. "Hope you have a beautiful day, sweetheart. We'll wait until we get their response, honey." And here is that very convincing reply from his esteemed company. I say esteemed company because that's what they call themselves. "Dear Mrs. Celia," it said, "thank you for contacting our esteemed company. We're in receipt of your email and we'll be delighted to be of further assistance to you. In order to further your request, kindly provide us with the company's service batch number of Mr. Clinton. The service number will enable us assist you further as policy. Regards, William Smith, HR Manager." Celia wrote back and said she had no idea what Mr. Clinton's batch number was, and at that point our man had disappeared again, as he had before for several days. They replied again. "Thank you for contacting our esteemed company. We're in receipt of your email and will be delighted to be of further assistance to you. Kindly ask your fiancé, as quoted in your previous email, to provide the information needed. Without this personnel identification number, I will not be able to further your request." Celia wrote back, "That's a shame. I haven't heard from him for days, and I gave you the info I have. So as he doesn't seem to be talking to me, I'll message him and tell him that he can't have leave. Celia." Then she messaged our man. "I'm sorry," she said. "You can't have your leave. The office asked me questions I can't answer, and you didn't give the right info, so I told them I'd tell you that you can't have your leave. Sorry about that." "Which questions, sweetheart?" he asked. "Too late now," said Celia. "They asked something about batch numbers." "OMG," he said. "Bath number?" "Batch number," replied Celia, copying and pasting the line where they'd said, "Kindly provide us with the company service batch number of Mr. Clinton." So he gave her the batch number. "You'll have to write to them yourself," she said. "I'm not writing again." "Just forward it to them, honey," he said. "You never told me they've replied yet, honey." "No," she said. "Write to them yourself. If you can't be bothered to give the right information, I can't be bothered to write to them again." "I'm so sorry, sweetheart," he said. "I never know they'll demand for that, honey." "Write to them yourself," she said, "and give them the missing information." "Nothing is late, honey," he said. "I'm so happy they reply back to you, honey. We're closer to this, sweetheart. I'm so sorry for my shortcomings." "Just email them the info they need," said Celia. "I can't do that myself, honey," he said. "Just forward it to them, sweetheart." "Don't be ridiculous," said Celia. "It's an email. Of course you can do it yourself. I told you I'm not emailing them again. If you want to come, give them the info they need." "They demanded that from you for just verification," he said. "OK," said Celia. Obviously you're having difficulty with understanding, so I'll make it simple. I am not emailing them again. It's okay, sweetie, he said. If you want to come, you will have to email them yourself. They never demanded that from me, he said. They demanded it from you, sweetheart. This continued for another half an hour, with him repeatedly trying to make Celia email the company again, and her repeatedly refusing, until finally she said to him, I'm not interested in talking to you again, unless or until you email them. Goodbye. And so our man disappeared. And if the person that you're talking to online turns into a bully and repeatedly tries to make you do something that you've refused to do, I suggest that you block them, especially if you feel that you might give in to the bullying. And yes, if you've seen the thumbnail for this video, there's an episode 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in episode 2.